I'm Vicki Classman. I'm one of the candidates that's running for Waupaca County Circuit Court Branch 2 for the judgeship there. Judge Hoffman recently decided to retire. He was the judge for Branch 2, and so I decided to run for the office. I grew up in Wisconsin Rapids. My father was a pharmacist, and we owned a number of drugstores. I came to Waupaca a little more than 26 years ago. I went to law school in Minnesota and came to Waupaca sort of when I was fresh out of law school. It was my first legal job, and I've been here ever since. I work in the district attorney's office, so I was hired 26 years ago by John Snyder and have been working in the district attorney's office since that time and have been living in Waupaca since that time. I have 4 children that I raised in Waupaca, and they are all grown now. So I have some time on my hands that I feel that I could dedicate to becoming a judge. I've handled some of the less serious matters like speeding tickets and things like that, all the way up to our most serious cases, homicides, sexual assault cases, domestic violence, property offenses, bar fights, just about every type of case that we've had. I've handled many jury trials. I've had hundreds of jury trials over the years, and I've handled thousands of cases. I enjoy working in the district attorney's office. I enjoy working with the community members. I help victims a lot of times as they're going through the whole court process if they've been a victim of a crime, and I enjoy that part of my job, helping them through what can sometimes be a very traumatic experience. I have a pretty heavy caseload, which I think would make me a good judge, because judges handle a lot of cases and they have to be able to process cases through the system. And so for 26 years I've been handling a lot of different cases. I'm in the Waupaca County courts on a daily basis. The district attorney's office is situated right in the courthouse, and we're in court every single day handling cases before the judges. So I feel like I have a good knowledge of how the Waupaca County courts work, and I feel that I have the experience of handling lots of cases and handling lots of jury trials, which I feel is one of the most important things that judges do, is handle serious felony cases and handle jury trials, and I have a lot of experience in that regard. One of the reasons I've decided to run for judge is that I feel like I'm a dedicated public servant in the district attorney's office already, and I have it's always been instilled in me a desire to help out the community that you reside in. When I grew up in Wisconsin Rapids, my father was very active in his community. He's a World War II veteran, and it was always very important to him to give service to his community, service to his country, and I think he instilled that in me. And so one of the reasons I decided to become a prosecutor is because of a dedication I feel to the community and helping the community out. And I feel like that's a primary part of my job, is to assist victims and help in the community. And so I feel that if I became a judge, it would just be a furtherance of that kind of community involvement and helping out with your community, trying to keep your community safe, and helping the people that appear before you.
Hello, fellow citizens of Waupaca County. My name is Brenda Starr Freeman. I am a local resident of New London, Waupaca County. I have been a lifelong resident of New London, Waupaca County, my entire life. I came back to Waupaca County back in 1996. I bought a house, a business, and even a parking lot in downtown New London. And after a few years in business, I thought that I had the experience necessary to attempt to become your next Waupaca County Circuit Court judge back in 1999. In fact, as I opened my business back in 1996, I became quite successful in that even the local Post-Crescent newspaper out of the Fox Valley area came and featured me as one of 30, under 30, up-and-coming business persons in the community. And back at that time, they came and interviewed me for what I was doing in the community and what I believed in. And so back then, I looked for it. I looked towards becoming a judge. Fortunately, back then, at that time, the requirements were having at least 5 years of legal experience. And although I had 5 years working in the law as an attorney, I didn't meet the specific technical requirements. So I withdrew from the judicial race. Now, it's important for 2 reasons. The qualifications are important in any judicial race, and secondly, that persons need to have the necessary experience in order to be an effective judge. Actually, there's a 3rd reason. Back then, it was the first contested race that Waupaca County had in nearly 30 years, which tells you that this upcoming election that we have this spring in 2014 is the first opportunity in 14 years for the citizens of Waupaca County to have a choice as to who is their next Waupaca County Circuit Court judge. So back to specifications or qualifications. Back then, I thought I had the necessary prerequisites, but I didn't. And I'm glad that I was not able to become judge, because now, 14 years later, with 14 more years of experience under my belt, I know what is necessary to be a good and effective judge for our citizens. But another issue that is going to be called into question in this race is residency. You must be a resident of the county for which you seek office at least 28 consecutive days prior to the election. I ask that you look at all of the candidates' qualifications to see if they truly meet that requirement. It is called into contention that perhaps 2 of the candidates do not meet those residency requirements, whereas 2 do. I am one of the 2 that I allege has, because I've lived here in Waupaca County my entire life. I grew up in Muckwa. I was even the Muckwa Corn Roast Queen. Although Muckwa Corn Roast Queen does not give you the qualifications to be a judge, it does prove my residency and, my ties to the community. So back to the qualifications. The other big issue is experience. You need to have a judge that has worked not just in one particular area of the law, but several. And not just a little bit of experience in many areas, but what I call breadth and depth of experience. I contend that I am the only candidate to have truly that depth and breadth of experience. One of my good colleagues and friends is another candidate. She is a wonderful public servant, has served the community for many years. I differ in that aspect because, and from all of the candidates, in that I have experience as a prosecutor, a defender, a plaintiff, a respondent, an advocate, a guardian ad litem. I've been on every side of just about every kind of case. I've been in private practice. I've been in public practice. I have worked for courts. In the past 15 years, I have worked as a crisis court guardian ad litem, where I go into mental health hospitals. I've gone into prisons. I've gone into regular hospitals, nursing homes. All walks of life I have represented and looked after. Those experiences are what makes me different. I have kind of summed up my whole philosophy. And you can check out my Facebook page and Freeman for Judge if you want any more particular information about my beliefs and experiences. But I put together what I call my ACE. A in ACE stands for actions. C is for character. E is for experience. Ask any law enforcement personnel throughout this county. They will tell you about my actions in court. C, character. Ask anyone. I am one of the most ethical attorneys in the state of Wisconsin. I teach other attorneys and other law enforcement and social workers about ethics. And experience, wide-ranging experience, prosecuting crimes where children are victims, but collaborating to change the system. All of this totaled together comes together to say that I have an ACE. But I need one more thing in order to become the next circuit court judge. I need the S. I need your support. So please consider me as your choice for next Waupaca County Circuit Court Judge so that I have the S for support. I have all of the ACEs. Thank you so much.
My name's Ed Olinsky. I'm running for Waupaca County Circuit Court Branch 2. It's this position that was held by Judge Hoffman until he retired at the end of November in 2013. So I graduated from Marquette University with my law degree and became a prosecutor in the Winnebago County District Attorney's Office. I left that job and went into private practice. I've been in private practice ever since. I have a general practice that covers just about every aspect of the law. Criminal, civil defense, small business representation, real estate, probate. I'm currently the president of the Winnebago County Bar and the vice president of the Waupaca County Bar. I have offices, my Waupaca office on Fulton Street handles about 70% of my practice at this point. My grandparents, Ralph and Tilly Moses, were from Waupaca. My grandpa had the Standard Station across from Simpsons for 40 years. My mom's whole side of the family is from Waupaca. I've also been active in an organization called the Boys and Girls Brigade for 24 years. They also own and operate Camp Onaway on the Chain of Lakes. So I spent a lot of time up there volunteering. I'm currently a director for one of those camps. When Judge Hoffman retired, I asked myself whether or not this is a position that I wanted to run for, and an opportunity to talk to other attorneys in the bar and talk to other judges, and had an opportunity to take a look at the other candidates. And I decided that I would run for the position, quite frankly, because I thought that I would be the best candidate and offer the best range of choice for the position. My experience in terms of running a private practice and having been a prosecutor, I think means that I have the largest range available of the candidates. I haven't specialized in any one particular field. I've done all sorts of law. I've done lots of trials. I've done trials both as a prosecutor and a defense attorney. And so I think my experience is the broadest of all of the candidates that are out there. Also, I think when voters are trying to decide who they want for a judge, they really have to look at judgment. I think it's important because judges often sit in equity. That means that they're making decisions that aren't necessarily legal. They're equitable. So in a divorce, what happens to the kids? If you're injured in an accident, what are the values of your injury? What's the value of your injury? What's the value of the lost work or lost wages? What's the value of your pain and suffering? If you're the victim of a crime, the judge is going to sentence that criminal defendant. What is the appropriate sentence? Are you going to be made whole? Is the sentence going to be appropriate? Is it going to appropriately punish that criminal defendant? These are all equitable decisions that a judge has to make. So I think you want somebody that's going to do the right thing, that's going to listen, that's going to be fair, that's going to be patient and respectful of the people that are in the courtroom. I think the best way that voters can make a determination about the candidates and what kind of judgment they have is to ask people in the courthouse. Ask people in the clerk's office, people in social services, law enforcement, the bar, anybody that has a regular contact with attorneys in the county. I think if you do that, the choice will become clear. And that's why I'm running for judge, because I think in terms of judgment, in terms of having to make those difficult decisions, I have the right demeanor to be able to do that in an appropriate way. My name's Ed Olinsky. I'm running for Waupaca County Circuit Court Branch 2. I'd ask for your support. If you want more information, we do have a Facebook page as well as JolinskyForJudge.com. And we will be sending out mailers, and there's going to be lots of information in the County Post coming up. So we hope to have your support.
Hello, I'm Keith Steckbauer, the newly appointed judge in Waupaca County. I've been given this opportunity to discuss with you why I was appointed, the process, and why I would ask for your support in the elections coming up. First, I'd like to share a little bit about the appointment process. When Judge Hoffman retired, the Governor Walker solicited applications. All of the current candidates applied. We had to submit significant packets, including our writing samples, and our references and our qualifications. After reviewing those, the governor's office gave me the opportunity for a one-on-one sit-down interview with the governor, which is an amazing experience. After that interview, it was decided I was the person that best met his judicial philosophy and his belief that I met the needs of Waupaca County. After the selection was made, a thorough background check was done on me and to confirm that I'd lived a life worthy of this significant and important role in our community. The governor decided that I met his criteria for judicial philosophy, that judicial philosophy is rooted in the Constitution and requires a respect for the rule of law. The governor did not require a litmus test of political affiliation. Rather, I truly believe he looked for the most qualified candidate. I believe I was selected based upon my life's work. As I told Governor Walker when he called to inform me of his appointment, I told him I would not disappoint him, and I will tell you I will not disappoint you, the voters of Waupaca County. I understand the election process is a little confusing given my recent appointment. Basically, there's a 6-year term. I will be completing a term that runs to July 31st. August 1st, a new term will start. We have a primary on February 18th and a general election on April 1st. To select that term, the holder of that term on August 1st. So, even though I've been appointed, I need your confidence and your support in retaining this position to serve the residents of Waupaca County. Next, I want to share with you a little bit about my background. I've practiced law for 20 years, with most of it split between Outagamie and Waupaca counties. I have lived just over the line in Dale, but I've owned land for years in Waupaca County and will be closing on a new house in Waupaca before I take office. I've successfully managed a thriving legal practice for over 10 years, paying all of my bills and making payroll month after month. I think that has prepared me in part for the administrative roles that I will take on as a judge. I've tried jury trials, divorces, cases large and small, in venues throughout the state of Wisconsin. I've written untold number of wills, handled countless real estate transactions, and closed many estates. I've represented governments, small businesses, and families. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of Waupaca County residents through all phases of life's legal challenges. I've probably represented a friend, family member, or relative of most of the people listening to this presentation. Unlike the other candidates, I've also been blessed to serve in elected office. I've been a town board chairman, managing roads and budgets, and a school board member through some very challenging times these last few years, placing students first, yet treating all stakeholders with respect. And those school board, members of the school board have elected me to serve as their president for the past 4 years. I've likewise been asked to serve in roles of responsibility in Waupaca County. I serve on the First State Board of Directors, I serve on the New London Family Medical Center Board of Directors, and on the Board of Trustees for my New London Church. I volunteered in more activities than I can or should rattle off. I've done them either for my church, my community, or my children. Each action has been done to show my children that there's a world beyond them and they have responsibilities to the community to which they belong. But as anyone knows who serves their community or their church, you get so much more out of it than you put in. My elected roles have required deliberation and decisions affecting taxpayers, students, and employees. My roles in my church have taught me both reflection and action. My roles on corporate boards have served to teach me more about how our community needs thriving businesses for our community to survive and thrive, and that tough decisions have to be made after the debates are done. I'm ready for the challenge given to me by Governor Walker. I prepared myself, and I've really been prepared by my fellow citizens of Waupaca County to serve, to act, and to speak as its conscience in the most important affairs of life. I leave you with one last thought and promise. As a young lawyer, I was taught every case is the biggest case to somebody, and it doesn't matter if its value is a pittance or millions of dollars. It's the most important case to someone. So every case deserves respect. Every litigant deserves respect. And that's what I'm going to take on the bench. Every person in front of me will be treated with respect, and every case will be treated as it is the most important case to someone. Thank you, and please consider supporting me.